Look at her face. Ladies and gentlemen, Christine Mallett is a young rising star in sports. This girl do the 400 meter. You ain't gonna beat her on that. We've
Let's
had
go.
video on here of her on here before and photos. We introduced her. Just got picked up at USC with full scholarship. She is the
Woo!
bomb.com, and now she's gonna come on and start doing a new segment on the show where we reach the teenagers. We ain't even came up with the title yet, so let's just bring her on. Get your hands together for Miss Christine Mallard right here. Whoa, whoa! There she is. Good morning,
Michael. Whatever you do, don't call it the R. Kelly touching the teen segment.
Something is
Okay,
wrong
we
with
won't call
you.
it that segment. Look at her face. We will not call it that segment.
Something is wrong with
Hi,
you.
Christine.
Hi,
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Go Trojans.
Supercalifrat. Who's frozen?
I said go Trojans.
Oh, go Trojans.
The hot toddy,
We're
y'all.
back to condoms again. I thought that this was a family show. Oh,
Jesus,
you
I'm
mean
so glad she
USC?
18.
I'm
Jesus.
sorry, my bad. Okay, USC, go Trojans. So
Yep.
hi, Christine.
Hi, how are
Welcome
you?
to the show.
Thank
I
you.
am outstanding. You know, you and I have having this conversation about having a segment that reaches the teenagers, and talk about stuff that they can relate to as well. And first of all, just a moment about you. You are a student, you are an athlete, you're at USC. Tell me about you.
Well, I guess as a person, I would consider myself very ambitious. I'm very analytical about things. I think, say, as an athlete and how that translates is that I'm very competitive and I do like to win and I like what I like. And so essentially, I feel like being able to balance sports and athletics and who I am as a person has always been a great feat for me, considering I only got into track when I was 13 years old, which is actually considered late for track. So for me, I just having this opportunity like this to be able to just talk about things that also teens that go through things on a daily basis that I also see, because not all teens also grew up the same either.
Absolutely.
I love it. Look, during your segment, I want to invite the audience. Hey, guys, this is going to be a new segment once a week on Thursdays. Christine's going to come in and talk to us about what's going on in the teen scene, and we need a name for that. So while she's doing this segment, feel free, guys, to throw up suggestions in the comments as to what you think a good name would be. She might choose one. She might choose something of her own. We're going to leave that up to her, but I at least want to put it out there. Okay.
There's
Yes,
something
Ashley?
catchy now, people. Like the scene with Christine, something that really works. It's got to be catchy. You got to be able to read it. I learned a lot about you because not personally, but just when you're a track athlete, that says a lot about people, because track is a very different sport for someone to compete in.
Right.
I wasn't always fat. This is a new thing for me, and so I also ran track.
Right.
And I know it's one of the rare sports where you are competing really only against you.
Yes.
There are other people on the track, but you're just really competing against time and doing yourself. Michael, you may not notice, one of the hardest times when you're running track is when you're better than other people, because they're not there to actually push you. So you have to have the mental stamina to push yourself to be great. And so somebody like yourself, man, who's running at that level, that's a Power 5 school. People may not understand USC is a hotbed for track, so she's able to run at that school. You are one of the top athletes in the country, so you should be definitely congratulated for that. I'm big on congratulating the young people when they do stuff, because we're so quick to point out when they're doing wrong. So that's great.
Yeah.
And the
I got a
400.
question.
Whoa.
I got a question. What you
Well, you can ask your question, Ashley, but I got to tell you, I still haven't got past his statement that he ran track. He ran
ran
crack,
Everything
baby,
comes back
but
to
he
track.
ain't.
Now I did run track.
Everything goes
hot
back
toddy,
to
damn
crack.
it.
That was when I was
Hot toddy, that's
that was when
all
I was
I'm
14. I was running crack when I was
No,
14.
I do
I
have
was
a
trying to
question.
get in and I messed it up. Oh, sorry.
It's
Go
hot
ahead,
toddy.
Ashley.
That's the hot toddy. Christine, what are you studying?
See, I have no idea, but I think because I literally had this conversation with my academic advisor, because USC athletics get their own academic advisors. And so basically, I think for me, because I also took an internship my senior year, I did a variety of things from film to like real estate. So I have a lot of skills. It's just I think my skills are probably going to go down towards entertainment in terms of say like acting, film, animation, media, things of that nature. Because I think that's what I enjoy, like indulging in myself.
Yeah.
So I think for me, that's what I enjoy the most. And say if I wanted to minor in business, because I'm not the greatest at math, because there's a lot of math in terms of their programs at USC. I can also minor in math, and then maybe say for my master's, probably something in terms of like accounting or finance.
Well, what about Olympics? Are you thinking about doing the Olympics?
Oh, absolutely. World Budapest is coming up this year.
Yeah.
And so for me, of
Budapest.
course, standard. So of course, that's my goal for this year. But
Yeah.
of course, collegiately, I'm hoping to make the NCAA championships.
Yeah.
That and win, because in my mind, my training and how we're going, I'm going to PR with something very, very good.
Mm-hmm.
So doing so, by this coming summer, World Budapest would be around the corner, and that next year would be the Olympic trials in Paris 2020.
Gotcha. That's great.
Wow,
I love
that's
the
what I'm.
thinking that you got, man, to be able to see into the future. Grant Holloway is a very good friend of mine, and the family. I've known him since he was a young lad. He's a world record holder in the hurdles, and
Snapper.
Mhm.
that was just a name drop. Just wanted to throw that out there.
Yeah, that was very
Michael-
Hollywood of you.
Yeah, Michael
Go ahead,
does it all
drop
the
it.
time. Michael knows everybody.
Oh, I love to
Everybody
drop a
he
name. I
knows.
know everybody and their mama too. Yeah. But look, we've done all this talking and she hasn't started her segment. So let's get to it. So Christine, what is the topic today for you?
Well, it was kind of funny because I was having a conversation about this yesterday, and basically my friend was, she was stressing about finals. And I realized that like a lot of teenagers, especially, I guess I can consider like Generation Z from like 1997 to like about 2012-ish that were born in that year, have dealt with a lot of stress, anxiety, and depression. I think one of the things that happened was that this generation, especially for these young children, have gone through a lot, and myself included. Especially, we can start with George Floyd. That situation that happened. It was a lot going on, and even with COVID as well, and having to be locked down for about a year, it took a lot of impact on a lot of kids. And I think all that stress and anxiety, it left an impact. It left wounds that needed to be mended for a lot of kids, say if those things didn't happen. But what I can also recognize from our generation is that we're the first generation to also have social media, technology, and widespread news just at our fingertips. Like I can look up right now the next news and read about something from halfway across the world. And I think that's a blessing, and that's amazing. But of course, I recognize that not other children come from the same way I grew up, where I'm able to have that opportunities for that. Now, I think like with all that stress and anxiety and depression that can come, there's so many stressors that can happen, whether it be like family pressures or economic instabilities, things of that nature in terms of family dynamics. But of course, you can't, like sometimes some people don't get good cards, you know what I'm saying? And so when trying to grow up in a world where there's just so much change, that can be a lot for kids to deal with, considering they're having to grow up so fast, still be considered a child or a kid that's still just trying to learn and understand and grow as people.
Wow.
And I think the main thing that happens, because from personal experience, I've seen so many of my friends over time say maybe resort to drugs, or say maybe somebody had a situation happen to them that had, you know how you get that call and you realize so-and-so happened to somebody. I'm like, I had no idea that they were going through that. And I find it so disheartening because it's like we have so much access to things, and it's just I feel like some kids feel that they cannot reach out for help, or they cannot help somebody. It's just very disheartening. It's sad for me to hear that for other people.
I see that it affects you. How is there something we could put out there so kids will know how they can reach out? Is there a place where kids can reach out when they feel like they're at the end of their rope? I mean, a lot of folks know, or a lot of kids know or feel they can go to their parents, but a lot of kids feel that they can't. So if you can, or if you can't, who do you reach out to? How do you get that help when you need it?
I believe that, I think the government just made the new, from 911, I think they just made it that suicide hotline. I think it was 811, I'm pretty sure, for like the global health and suicide awareness. It's basically.
There's a suicide hotline. Huh? Okay. Your suicide hotline. Go ahead.
Yeah. And so basically they would be able to call that number, say if they were distressed, or say they just needed somebody to talk to. And of course, it's a 24-hour service, because a lot of people don't know about that. And I had to learn that through social media by people sharing the story. Like, hey, they just changed this from the suicide hotline to 811. You get what I'm saying? I didn't know that.
Yeah. I didn't know it till you just said it.
So essentially, say if kids needed to reach out to someone, it's a lot more convenient to type in those 3 numbers to be able to reach out to somebody. whether it be your family, your friend, your sister. Even I feel like a lot of people would probably be more comfortable even talking to, say, therapists, psychologists about things that they're going through, because of the fact that, unbiased party, they don't have to deal with that judge. Everything could also be on a clean slate.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I pulled up a number just so that there's apparently there's a few that you can actually use. There's also the hotline of 988. That's the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. All you have to do is dial 988 from your phone. You can text it, you can chat, you can do anything. Just hit 988 from your phone. If you feel like you're going to do anything to yourself or someone else, you can call that line and actually get some help.
Nice. That is nice. Hey, Christine, thank you. I love your emotion. I love how you're plugged into this, how you genuinely care about these kids and what they're going through. That's awesome. Yay. So you sort of inspired us. I have a podcast that starts in 4 days. Michael talks to everybody. And now after we're gonna do one show on suicide, because I don't get it. I mean, and I don't, but they say you don't get it unless you're actually in the eye of the storm. You don't understand what's going on. I know I would never kill me. I might kill another mother. I mean, I might kill somebody, but I will never kill my guy. So I know it's really deep. You got to really be in a deep, dark space to want to end it all. Because after suicide, I mean, that's the end. There is no do-over in suicide. What if you made a mistake? What if 5 minutes later things changed? So it's a very deep situation. I'm glad you brought that one up. And go ahead, baby.
One thing that, from personal experience, that because I had a friend that actually almost overdosed and almost passed away, and basically, it was really disheartening to hear that from someone so close to me. She described me as in a very dark place, to the point where you just wanted the pain to stop.
Wow, I just want the pain to stop. It's so funny. I talked to a 14-year-old. It was like 3 years ago. I was doing some research for a project. And the kid, I said, are you afraid? Aren't you afraid of dying? Because he's in these streets. And he said, no, brother, I'm afraid of living. And to hear that from a 14-year-old is shocking, and it threw me. Anyway, there's plenty of room for this conversation, so we're going to have that. Our segment is over today, but I love that you came on. Before I let you out of here, look at some of these names: on and off the field with Christine. Somebody said the voice of the millennia. Then somebody came out and said she's Z generation instead of millennium. I don't know the difference.
She's
What's
Gen
the
Z.
Yeah, we know you don't. We know you don't know, Michael.
Christine.
Okay,
Christine,
boomer.
They gonna keep playing. I'm talking to you, Christine. Christine, what's the difference Generation Z and millennials?
Well, it's basically
I don't know.
Here in terms of, so basically, I think millennial. I don't know the specific year, but Gen Z, they're supposed to be born like post-millennial, so born from 1997 all the way up to 2012.
Yeah.
Wow. And people actually know stuff like that. Okay. All right. Good. Okay.
Guess what, Michael? You no longer have to put stamps on letters to send them to people anymore either. There's electronic mail. So there's also that. And people know about that all over.
You do have to put stamps on letters to mail them.
Not
now
all
you can go through email. There is no, get out of here. There is not unless it's a pre-made stamp, you got to put it. You playing. Okay, anyway, Christine. Christine, I'm sorry. You get caught up in the milieu over here. It gets crazy. You did fantastic.
I like the last one. Did you? You didn't see? Wait. You guys, you didn't say this one, Michael. Wilson said keeping track with Christine. I thought that one was pretty dope. Keeping track with Christine.
What about the voice of the millenniums?
We didn't like that.
Millennium.
No, we don't.
Y'all didn't like the one off and on.
We also didn't like that.
I like the on and off
field.
That was a poor attempt, boomer. No, that's
but
not.
She could come in and talk about. She could talk about track one day, or she could talk about what else is going on off.
I like keeping track with Christine because that's like a play on the word track.
The double entendre.
Yeah,
somebody said this twice. He said energy. Oh, energy. Energy. He said it should be called energy. Do you get the play on the words?
No, Les, you got to do a little more.
He said, nope. Loving track with Christine on and off field. No, Jeff Rich, keep on throwing up names, titles. It's not working. Nice, Christine. Very ambitious. I have fun
Keeping track
singing.
with
Okay.
Christine. I like that one. Christine, what you think of that? If we got 2 votes on